we're doing, I'm waiting for you to stop talking. Alright, zip. Okay, so what we were doing is we're talking about the ability to compare, contrast characters, how they change from the beginning to the end. In order to do that, you need to track how the character was throughout the entire story. Alright, so right now we are on this story on expert21.com/student. Alright, so what you're going to do, instead of doing it as a Google Doc, you're going to take your notes within the document, within the reading. So we start off reading. It said, me and Lou had no time for courtesies. We were late for school, so we just flat out told the painter lady to quit messing with the wall. It was our wall, and she had no right coming to our neighborhood painting on it. So right here, I stopped, and I was thinking, you know what? I can totally infer something about the narrator and this kid Lou. So what I'm going to do is I'm thinking, all right, like the fact that they're saying they have no time for courtesies and that they just flat out told this lady. So I'm going to copy this. All right, so I'm going to highlight it, right-click, copy, and then I'm going to paste it into the clip text. And I'm going to title this Lou and narrator. So based upon this text that we clipped, what can you infer? Now, it could be something good, it could be something bad. So what can you infer based upon what that person, that character is doing and saying, all right, about this character as a person? So one person is saying that they can infer that they are rude. So I'm going to put they are rude. So I need you to explain to me why that part proves that they are rude. So this is the explaining part. This is the part a lot of you leave out on. So go ahead and what we said is, we said that we have our clip text. So we said that they are rude. They don't even have time to say hello. That's just rude. When they told her to stop writing on the wall and get lost, this just shows a lack of manners because they don't even know who instructed her to go there. Perhaps it was the mayor. All right. So I'm going to save. I'm not going to put this in a group. Actually, let's try. I'm just going to save it for now. I titled it Lou and Narrator. But now, based upon this clip text, I'm thinking there's something else that I can infer about them or their feelings towards something. So what else can you infer based upon this? Talk about coming into our neighborhood, right? So actually, the clip text is not, so I'm going to delete this clip text. So right here when she says, it was our wall and she had no right coming to our neighborhood painting on it, that clip text right there, what somebody just told me, is this shows that they're almost protective of their neighborhood. So I'm going to put this shows they are protective of their neighborhood. And then I'm going to save that note. So that one little part, I was able to infer two things. And I am close reading. This is what a lot of you don't do. You just read quickly and you get to the surface. So what I want you to think about when you do this next reading is you got to put it in chunks. All right? Some people can handle larger chunks, whereas other people can only handle smaller chunks. So I would read one paragraph at a time. Then I would stop and think. Then I would probably go back and reread it again, okay? When you're reading your PRB, it's a different type of reading. But if you're reading something that you have to discuss and getting assessed on, you have to close read. All right, so let's keep reading and see what else we can infer. And then I'm going to save this note. All right, so what we did is we clipped all these memories right here about the neighborhood, and we clip that, and basically what you can infer is this neighborhood is really quite sentimental to them. It means a lot to them. I'm going to just add that. It means a lot to them. And I'm going to title this, I'm going to just title it Lou and Narrator. You could title it whatever you want. If you want to have a different title, if you want to have whenever you want. And I'm going to save it. What else can you take a note on? What other inferences can you make based upon what this, and like I said, it is close reading. You need to look at little small details that really say a lot. Is there anything else in here you can infer? Yes?
That like racism was like segregation was like taking a toll on them? Like,
No, why do you say that? Racism is taking a toll. Segregation is taking a toll on them. Why do you say that?
got their like school filled up and they were like sad and stuff. I don't know, they said so-called integration, like the integration wasn't really happening in their area. Like,
So it's almost like they have a little, what's the word we're looking for towards integration? A little negativity.
yeah.
All right. So what am I going to copy and paste? What details prove that? You said big kids have been playing.
Like when it says so-called integration, then it's because they put,
Got it.
like, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it. So you know what? What do you want to name our note cards? Do you want to name the card what the inference is, or do you want to name it, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to just name it whoever we're making inference about? The character's name. All right. So let's try to name it like the inference. So like, what do you want to name it then? Well, here, note to my words. The boys. What did we say? They have like almost a negative attitude. Toward integration. You know, the detail that I think you're missing, let me just get this name. I'm going to name it Lou and Narrator. Nobody notices such small detail. It says right here, stirring in the paint bucket and not even looking at us, she mumbled something about Mr. Eubanks, the barber, giving her permission. That had nothing to do with it as far as we were concerned. This right here, it's such a small little line, but what can you infer? Just on that little line, that had nothing to do with it as far as we were concerned. So right here, I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to paste, I'm going to clip that text. What can you infer about the boys based upon that whole attitude? They're like, you know, here you got this woman, she's coming in, the barber, you know, gave her permission to paint whatever she's painting, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. So what can you infer based upon that little... All right, so one person says they don't have respect for authority. Somebody's saying they are stubborn. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, to me, this just shows how even more, how they are still protective over their little neighborhood. Like, they don't care what this barbershop man is saying. They want to protect that wall that belongs to them. So to me, it shows they are protective of their neighborhood. So we're going to divide the rest into little chunks. So what I want you to do is I want you to read the next 2 paragraphs and see if you can make any inferences, because our ultimate goal is to see how and if the characters change from beginning to end. So on page 261, you're going to read those last, you're going to read this paragraph and this paragraph, okay? And see if you can take any notes. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. Question? Then ask the person next to you or move up. And that'll tell you something. This will belong, okay, so you clip this. All right, so I'm going to put it right here. Oh, sorry. What does this show? So I'm going to help me make my inference and make sure that I'm writing in an inference. So this shows what?
That the boys are protected.
of,
The wall.
not necessarily the wall, but also their neighborhood. Of their neighborhood. All right, give me another. So I'm going to save this. All right, give me another inference you made. Because I know there's more than one. Same hands. I don't want the same hands up all the time. We have a lot of smart people in this class. Alex, what do you got? Did you use the same text? What did you clip for that?
I had, you get a whiff of bubble gum and good sweet, and that'll tell you something that this bubble gum should
Oh, we already did that one. That's one we just did. Oh, someone different. You had your hand up, man. Hey, were you stretching?
Not really.
Your hand was in the air.
Was?
Yeah, it was. All right, give me another one. Yes, go ahead.
They're not afraid to stand up for their beliefs.
Ooh, so we're talking Lou and narrator. Okay, what text am I clipping to prove that they are not afraid to stand up for their beliefs?
Well, I clipped both paragraphs that we had to read because in both the paragraphs it shows them telling her how much they don't want her there and telling her a bunch of reasons.
But wait, so you're saying you clipped the entire 2 paragraphs? All right, so if we look, like right here, I don't think you would clip every single thing. Because to me, stop talking. This right here shows it. But like if I were to clip this part, that doesn't really show it, does it? Look up here. That doesn't show that they're protective. Then I would clip this. And I would also put that down here. Because that shows it, and then this one where he wants to grab hold of the ladder. Wow, they're really.
They're intense.
You know what though? I gotta tell you though, I'm quite impressed because you know what? You know, nowadays, like I live, you know, where I live, everybody walks to school, and you know, a lot of these people they live in the neighborhood, and you know how many times like there's an ice cream man that parks right down the street. I'm not sure what you're looking at. But these kids live in the neighborhood and they have no problem with taking their trash and just throwing it on the ground, and this is their neighborhood. So to me, this is refreshing.
Like the kids in your neighborhood?
Yeah, sure. They just throw stuff on the ground.
That's litter.
So like, I wish that there were more kids who were protective of their neighborhoods like these 2 boys. Yes, do they come off a little rude, a little aggressive? Absolutely. But with good intent. So now, besides being protective, I'm going to ask you, what does this right here show you also about Lou? I'm sorry, about the narrator. I was about to grab hold of that ladder and shake it. Does it show you anything about the kind of person that he is himself? So I'm going to clip that text, and I'm going to call this narrator. Our eyes should be up here. So what does that tell you about the narrator himself? Not so much because this is what he wanted to do. So if you remember, when you're trying to learn things about characters, you have to look at their actions, their thoughts, their feelings, their inner thinking. Yes?
You can get, like, mad kind of easily.
He has a temper. Seems like he has a temper. And gets mad easily. All right? So I'm going to save that. All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go to the next page, okay? And I do not want you reading the entire thing. Actually, you're reading on the computers. I want you to read the next paragraph. Actually, I want you to read the next 2 paragraphs. And that is...
The ones you highlighted?
Yeah, so the ones I highlighted, I want you to read it once over first, figure out the gist, then go back and take notes on inferences about characters. All right, based upon these next 2 paragraphs right here, all right, one thing somebody said is the paint lady is persevering. Tell me why she's persevering. Go ahead.
Because the boys told her not to mess with the wall even when she started doing it, and as she finished, so that means this is what they told her.
Yeah, so she said, it's happened 2 times. Once in the morning, but what time is it now in these 2 paragraphs?
In the afternoon.
Yeah. So, and they harassed her in the morning, she ignored them. They harassed her in the afternoon, she ignored them. So that kind of shows that she's pretty persevering. Give me another inference you made. Go ahead.
So I put it was.
Never mind. So once again, when Lou was about to say how hip it was, the narrator dropped his books on the ground on his toes, and he reminded him that we were at war. That once again shows how protective the narrator is about the wall, about his neighborhood. Give me another one. Yes.
I said that others just like the wall idea.
What is it?
Others just like the wall idea.
How do you know that? Who are the others?
The twins, when they came by, they came and they were staring at it, and it wouldn't be because they liked it, because there really wasn't anything on the wall yet.
Doesn't make sense.
So it says, some good aromas were drifting our way from the plate leaking pot liquor onto the Morris girls' white socks. I could tell from where I stood that under the... Yeah, we didn't do that part, right? All right. The Morris twins crossed the street, hanging back at the curb next to the beat-up car. The twin with the red ribbons was hugging a jug of cloudy lemonade. The one with the yellow ribbons was holding a plate of dinner away from her dress. When the painter later began snapping the strings, the blue chalk dust measured off halves and quarters. Lou was about... All right, so how do you know they like it?
No, they don't.
How do you know?
They're not even going to say anything about
No, let her explain. Change your mind? Yes, no evidence. Give me another inference. Okay, so I still notice that many of you are not close reading. So everyone go to look in your books or look on the computer. So I'm going to reread. I'm going to tell you my thinking. Okay, so you're going to read along with me. When we came from school, so I see some of us are not following along in the text. I would say about half of the class, either on the computer or in the book. If you're looking at me, I know I'm gorgeous, but that means you're not reading along.
You sound like Miss Leatherman.
When we came from school, the wall was slick with white. The painter lady was running string across the wall and tapping it here and there. Me and Lou leaned against the gumball machine outside the pool hall and watched. She had strings up and down and back and forth. Then she began chalking them with a hunk of blue chalk. The Morris twins crossed the street, hanging back at the curb next to the beat-up car. So one of the things I'm thinking is in the first paragraph, I didn't see anything. Then the second paragraph, I'm thinking about these twins, and I'm saying to myself, I probably don't want to make an inference about them because they don't really seem like this is not who the story's about. The story's about the narrator and Lou, so I think they're just kind of like extras, but they're not so important to think about. The twin with the red ribbons was hugging a jug of cloudy lemonade. The one with yellow ribbons was holding a plate of dinner away from her dress. The painter lady began snapping the strings. The blue chalk dust measured off halves and quarters up and down and sideways too. Lou was about to say how hip it all was. So here, one thing I'm thinking is, I think Lou might be open to change. He seems like he's, the fact that here he's like, hey, maybe this isn't so bad. So to me, the inference I can make is Lou is more open to change. And then it goes on to say, but I dropped my book satchel on his toes to remind him we were at war. So my second inference is this kid, the narrator, once again, protective of his neighborhood. The second thing I can infer about him is he seems like a little hothead, like his temper. But didn't we see that previously?
Yes.
Okay, so now as we read, we want to see if these traits change at all. All right, tonight for homework, anybody who did not finish the novel reading, I'm expecting you to have it done tomorrow. Expect a short little quiz for sure tomorrow. Okay?